For far too long, the effective management of the customer's experience has been considered a soft skill. But today, successful companies recognize that the customer experience is king, or from my perspective, is queen. Welcome to CX Unplugged. I'm Gabrielle Gonzalez, your host, and in this series, you will hear from me and other industry experts about how prioritizing the customer experience led to amazing outcomes. Brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. Hi there, it's Gabrielle Gonzalez with you today on a quick inspirational motivation for your day. It's where I like to come in and share with you just maybe a little bit of everyday motivation to help you deliver exceptional customer experience. These can be reminders or little outtakes or anecdotes, maybe some of them from some of my favorite influencers in the CX space. But anyway, the idea is just to help connect with you in a relatable way and give you just a little bit of tidbit or reminder that can help you be inspired to deliver exceptional customer experience today. That's today on the Multifamily Media Network. And what I wanted to share with you today is to remind you to be a customer advocate instead of a customer adversary. I think we've all been there, when we accidentally do something wrong or cross a line or whatever, and we get reprimanded like a child, maybe, or it makes you feel maybe like a child, or someone really reacted in a harsher way than we had anticipated. And it can really affect the rest of your day. And, in our space, it's important that we have rules and regulations and policies and procedures and so forth set out in the lease guideline or in the lease document so that we can make sure that we're treating everyone fairly, so that we can protect the safety of our residents as well as the safety and preservation of the assets that we are in charge of. But I think the thing I want to remind you of today is to be a customer advocate, not a customer adversary. And here's a couple of examples of things that come to mind that hopefully you can relate with too, and maybe will inspire you in the days to come. So it's our responsibility as a fiduciary to our ownership and as our job, just our professional role, to know those policies and procedures and guidelines and so on and so forth. It's our job to know the lease, right? That's our job. That's our profession. Our residents, they may sign all of these documents, whether it's on paper or electronically, which most of them are these days. But do you think they're actually reading all of those, warnings, and don't do this or we'll fine you that, or you can't do this or that? I don't know that they're really reading all of that. If they're like me, they're probably just signing it because that's part of the administrative job to get moved into their new home. So when your residents do something like maybe they park in the wrong place, you see them or a car is parked in a reserved space and it's not the car that's supposed to be there. If we were going to be a customer adversary, what we might do in that case is put a big sticker on the window or call and have it towed. Or if we know whose it is, maybe we would send them a fine and a nasty gram. And that would have one result from a resident. Generally, the resident probably, even if they knew they weren't supposed to do it, they probably wouldn't react really positively to that sort of action on our part. But on the other hand, there's another way that we could handle it. If we're really committed to delivering exceptional customer care and caring about our customer, we could be their advocate. So what could we do? We might contact a courtesy officer if we have one and scan the plate, find out whose it is, and give that person a phone call or a text message or an email, whatever their preferred method of contact is. Maybe if we know whose it is, we know it's Ethel Smith's car. Ethel Smith, that's what I just came up with spur of the moment. Anyway, we know it's Ethel's car. And so maybe we go ahead and contact her and let her know, hey, that's, not your assigned parking space. We certainly have that space available if you would like to reserve it in the future. These are our policies and fees around that. But in the meantime, we're going to need you to please move the car so that you can avoid any other adverse action. That's being an advocate for the resident, right? And you have a communication and a relationship with them. Same thing if someone's rent is about to be late. One of the things that I always love to do and encouraged my teams to do as a matter of practice is on the day before you're going to charge late fees, run that delinquency report. Run that report. Look at everybody who has not paid as of now. Give them a call or a text message or an email. Again, whatever their preferred method of contact is, and let them know, hey, rent is due tomorrow and I just ran a report. I noticed that yours isn't in yet, which is no problem at all, but I wanted to give you a friendly reminder so that you can avoid that late fee of whatever amount it is that will be charged tomorrow at noon or whatever time you charge those late fees. I wanted to let you know so that you can avoid those fees. This kind of action on behalf of your residents, it helps them, and it helps to build that relationship as well that has them recognizing that you are working on their behalf. You're trying to help them avoid unpleasant situations and scenarios within their residency. One last one before we go today, because I like these to be quick and informative and hopefully inspirational. If it is, please give me a like and let me know that. Or if you have any other great ideas as well, I'd love to know those, and we can share those with the network as well. So one last mention I wanted to give in that space of being an advocate versus a resident adversary is if you live in a hot climate like I do, in the summertime, if it's really humid, it can be really unbearable, particularly in some of the apartments where there may not be any cross ventilation. So even though our emergency maintenance policy may say that our maintenance folks won't come out to fix an air conditioner unless it's 80 degrees, let's say, I think that it's important that we don't look at that number, right, that 80 degrees, as an opportunity to forego helping the customer when they obviously are in distress. So if it's 78 degrees, for example, and really humid, and your resident calls you at 6 p.m. and says, oh my gosh, Gabrielle, it is so swelteringly hot in my apartment. I just got home from work. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. You know, my young child is just sweating and is really irritable. Is there anything, you guys can do? If we were being a customer adversary, what we might say is, I'm really sorry to hear that. And we'd love to get that taken care of for you. And I'll write it down for tomorrow when maintenance comes back in. And this, again, is going to have your resident who's already explained to you that they're very uncomfortable in their apartment, feeling not like you're taking care of them, but that you are more interested in following the protocol and the lease requirements and that sort of thing, and doing basically the bare minimum that you are required to do. On the other hand, you might say to this resident, oh, wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds awful. I can't imagine coming home from a long day at stressful work and your apartment being really hot and you can't unwind and get comfortable, not to mention that you feel terrible because your child is also really uncomfortable. Let me see if I can give my maintenance guy a call or gal a call and see if they would be willing to come back out and get that taken care of for you. That's what you would do. Now this resident sees you as an advocate and sees you as somebody who really cares about their overall experience in your community. And this is something that you can do to really stand out from your competitors, because a lot of times people, and it's sometimes not even for bad intentions. It's just that sometimes people get so focused on the policies and procedures and maintaining that normalcy and that systematic approach, which again, is necessary and is very good, but they forget to be an advocate for their residents instead of being an adversary. So hopefully these have been a couple of examples that can help inspire you throughout the day. And I hope that you go and deliver excellent customer experience today. And remember that, like Ron Kaufman said, Service is taking action that creates value for someone else. Thanks for joining me on today's Multifamily Media Network Minute for inspiring ideas and reminders. Join me next time. Bye-bye. CX Unplugged, where we have redefined who your customer really is. Join me next time to hear more missteps and masterful manifestations in the world of multifamily customer experience. Brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network.